There's a relief in letting go of control. Recently, I got into a debate with someone in some YouTube comments. It was under a philosophy video, and what he basically said was, Taoism is a stupid philosophy with no coherent grounds, just a bunch of oughts derived from is. Now, this kind of reminded me of a topic that I was wanting to talk about, and that is the topic of control. People love to feel in control because the fact is that reality isn't figured out. The fact is that it's kind of scary to be alive. I think people get really stressed when things kind of fall out of their preview, and often the world likes to show us how not in control we are. One of these examples of the world showing us this is the paradox of social control. Often, a control freak will enter a room hoping to build connection, maybe find some friends, and they kind of shift the vibe of the entire room. Maybe they have some comments on the type of music that's playing, or maybe they, corner someone at a party and talk their ear off without even letting the other guy get a word in. The issue with treating social interactions like something you can control is that it just doesn't work that way. It'd be like if you were holding a pile of sand and then squeezed it as hard as you could. Sure, some of it would mold to your hand, but the vast majority would just kind of squeeze out the sides and fly all over the place. You can't force people to become your friends. You can't really force people to like you. And the more you try to get people to like you, the more you give off this energy of needing people to like you, the less people like you. So in fact, you trying to be likable, you trying to control this social outcome just dooms yourself right from the start. Another example of control freaks, kind of failing in the modern world is modern day burnout. They follow every deadline, every bit of work that ends up on their desk, they get it done. No matter the cost, they'll skip days with family, they'll call off hangouts with friends, and they'll push off other things just to make sure they can get stuff done. But at the end of the day, however many years later, they'll eventually find themselves completely exhausted. And this, modern day burnout isn't something that just goes away. It's literally a permanent state that, lots of really successful people find themselves in. There is a way to let the external world be out of control, but still maintain some semblance of control within yourself. And again, it's okay to not have it all figured out. This whole controlling attitude, having to have answers for everything, having to know every outcome, having a perfect plan for the world, it's not something you can really solve in an afternoon. These things take time, and honestly, it's never going to fully go away. Some people are just built like that, and it's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to accept, maybe this controlling side of you is a bit of a flaw and causes you more anxiety and sadness, and you could really do without. But at the end of the day, you're imperfect as everyone else is, and you're doing your best. And the relief that comes from letting go of control, the topic of this video, is when you give up that perfectionist mindset. When you start to understand that it's okay to take life one day at a time, and that not everything has to be planned, not everything has to be figured out, and that, your external world can be crazy, but you can control how you internally react to things. And once you kind of give yourself this break from being perfect, you finally realize that you have the space to be happy, the space to not feel so anxious all the time. And maybe you start to realize that this whole life thing isn't so stressful after all. And that is the relief of letting go of control. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.